this winter in Melbourne has been elite, and it just reminds everyone just to just wait. You feel alive in this kind of weather and this kind of stuff. Like, really, don't even give it 2 seconds to think about. Just get up and feel alive. It's marvelous in the 2 degrees mornings and just straight into it. Just dive straight in, and use it as a bit of a metaphor. Use it as a bit of a metaphor for life. Just diving straight in. If it's cold, the colder the better. Just get in there. Much like the water, the colder the better. But these mornings are brilliant, and then you get outside or you do your gym session and you get out, and it's like this is unbelievable. Like the skies have been amazing, and that kind of stuff you got to keep reminding yourself how good it is, no matter what else is going on in your life, because it's really, really bloody important. And if you keep it that simple, that is your medicine. And the more often you have your medicine every single day, you just cannot go wrong. Thanks for all jumping on. A bit of a different one today. We've got 4 or 5 awesome human stories coming
I
up
said
in
that.
September. The Web Dog's just joined. I reckon Tuai just met him. Um, the G'day Web Dogs. G'day Tuai. We've got some good human stories coming up in September, but doing a bit of a bulk Q&A today on marathoning, but it could be anything. So I've got a dozen or so little quick snippets, but and then anyone else can jump in or jump in the chat. Um, a lot of this stuff is common because it's all different scenarios, so it'll really reach, I think, all gamuts. And some of these questions I might have answered 20 years ago and it's had the same answer. Some of them might be more recent, but they're all going to really hit everyone a bit different. So I think it's really important. And clearly, on a Friday, there's going to be people after the fact um, jumping on and listen to this on the way to. At the moment, we've got Sydney is massive, huge amount of runners in Sydney, huge. Obviously Berlin, we've got the Buzzman. I think our only major international major because Sydney's a and Melbourne we've got a shitload as well. So there's a lot coming up in the very near future. But this is one of those one. It's a bit of a time capsule one. You don't have to. It's not dated for Sydney, Melbourne, or Berlin specific. It's just a bit of a general marathon one. And the biggest thing is, I know we've had people on this um, series, the vibes, like Stevie last week, so recent on his nutrition plan and other people's stuff, and obviously on the podcast and that as well. But it's not. This is more just about specific marathons in all different scenarios. So I'm gonna welcome people to jump on if they want to and have a chat as well. But it's and their experience. But with this kind of data and stuff I've got, it's not about what works for one elite or what works for a sponsored African runner. It is what has worked objectively for millions. It's what worked for me over the last 20 years as a coach and the first 10 years of that 20 years running tomorrow at times. And it's all about just getting your ducks in order and not making the same mistakes that I might have made or athletes have made over the last thousands of years. So it's really important stuff. First things first, if you are running a marathon, well done. I think it's really important to give you that credit because they're not. I said it last week, I think, or maybe on Bolt. It's one of those things. It's much more than just fitness. If you want to test your fitness, you can do a million things, but it's not the marathon in my opinion at all. I know it isn't. It's definitely your fitness, your ultimate fitness will be between 3K, 1 mile even, 1600 and 10K. Your ultimate running fitness. If you can get that at a good level for your comparative age, and whatever else is going on in your life, you're doing amazing. Okay, so don't compare yourself to anyone else or any past tense, but your 1.6K to 10K, that is fitness. Compare that across the line with triathlon or swimming or biking, those kind of minutes under tension. So 40 to 50 minutes under tension, bike or swim. That's your fitness. Probably not swim, but that's it. The other stuff, as it gets longer, there's so many other variables that come into it. There's millions of variables, and it's about banking the years. And we'll talk later about that, but it's about banking the years for the marathon, and then it becomes a massive skeletal muscle thing, physics, and huge above the shoulders, which everything is in life. But that's the reason I think I said on Bolt last week or the week before. The marathon is one of those things. I used to do them and love them, but not because like I wasn't naturally called to that. I used to love the mental challenge of that. Definitely was I'd prefer the shorter stuff and obviously field-based stuff as well. So the marathon, I just had this weird mystique about it. When I was doing them, it wasn't all like it's everywhere now, which is amazing. But it certainly wasn't sexy by any stretch of the imagination. I think I've said a few times. I was doing concurrently to footy and that sometimes, and all my mates would say, why run 42K when you can drive? So those kind of things, that was the kind of attitude, especially when I first started. Obviously, it's had a boom since then, but it's one of those things above the shoulders type stuff. It really is cool. So firstly, you got to give yourself a massive self congratulations for doing it. That's number one. And then in the same breath, take away the fact that you're thinking about anybody else or anything else apart from yourself achieving this pretty special thing. Okay. Because once you can genuinely delete that, not just say you're deleting it, but fucking genuinely deleting that, then you're going to have some real good times. There's a time and a place to compete. Absolutely. We spoke to Stevie last week, and he's at a level that he's not obsessed about his competition every week, but on fucking race day, you've got to be a bit of an animal. And there'll come a time and a place for you guys on your day on Sydney, Berlin, October to be a bit of a fucking animal. But you can't waste the next 7 days worrying about that because what that does at an emotional level to your body is far worse than if you were going in with a fucking hamstring or calf injury. Okay, so that's probably the biggest tip, even though I didn't mean it, is to just dispel any kind of that shit. It's so crucial. Right, I'll get into some of these things. Off the bat, I guess pre-race nerves, pre-race nerves, week of, morning of, anxieties, nerves, and that kind of stuff. And I guess the thing about nerves are they're healthy in a little bit. It's good to feel alive, like I just mentioned the weather. But you don't have to waste the week with nerves. Number one, there's two or three different. That's going to cover in the questions. There's going to be three types of people competing and towing the start line next week. There's going to be people that are super prepared. You can't be more prepared than what you've been. You've ticked 85 to 95% of if program that was on the app or program if you've got an individual one, whatever it might be. You've ticked 95% of that. So all is great. You cannot possibly get nervous, guys. You got nothing to worry about. If you've done that, then that's great. If you think you've done that and you might not have done as much as what you thought, then that's okay as well. We'll find out on race day and you learn from that. And if you for any reason are you coming in very underprepared, we've got a question about this later, then that's okay as well. So all three will be okay. There's no like you're not next Sunday talking to Sydney, you're not going to an event, you're not gonna rock up to an event and try to save the world. You're gonna lock in. It's not Australia doesn't blow up if you don't run this time or if you're 15 minutes off. You haven't been sprouting it from the rooftop. You haven't been at your workplace I hope not, on the roof saying, I'm going to break 3 hours, I'm going to break 3:10, fucking look at me. If you're doing that, well, you probably should be nervous. But if you haven't done that, then you got no reason to be nervous. And like I said, there's those three types of individuals. There'll be ones that are very prepared, 95% of work, and there's no better or worse, by the way, because they're all for different reasons. 95% of work, great. And again, I reckon that's probably only 25% of a group every time. And that's got some pretty big anecdotal data there. 25% maybe, 95% of the work. That's huge. 90% of the work. Because remember, a marathon, like I said before, it's different. Like if you're just getting on the first 5 minutes, probably have a listen to it because it's really, if you're going to run Sydney, it's really important. Um, 25% of them, and then the other 50 probably think they might have done enough, maybe, maybe not, but they reckon they've ticked it off, or maybe they haven't. Doesn't matter. They're in that maybe arbitrary zone. That's fucking common. And then the 25% that know they're underprepared. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Nothing to be nervous about. So my biggest tip would be you can't get any fitter. You cannot get any fitter right now. So do everything you can to make it a really mindful week. So treat yourself to some pleasurable stuff that isn't going to take its toll. So don't go and pleasure yourself with piss or food, but whether it is some alone time, some journaling, a couple of easy walks on the beach with a dog, a couple of easy walks through the forest, quiet time, meditation, light yoga, even stuff that you think is might be for you, you don't like your own time and space, just do it for 5 or 6 minutes. Believe me, even just challenging yourself there, it's very important. So treat yourself to that and just be with yourself, get around your family, whatever it is, but don't stress and don't waste energy. So we'll get to the lead up in a minute, but the anxiety and the nerves, when they come, let's just say they're going to come tomorrow. You're 8 days out from Sydney. You run your 16K, 18K, whatever you run them, and you go, yeah, good. I wish it was today. I want it to be today. I just want to get over it. That's not the way to live. Or, oh, that felt shit. How am I going to do 42? That's not the way to live either. All those scenarios, they're the wrong answer. You're going to walk, you're going to have your next 8 days, you're going to love it, you're going to just do your normal stuff, but you're going to take a bit more private time for yourself with some breath work and some mobility and some walks with the dog, walks with the kids, whatever. And then you're going to notice the anxiety and the nerves just here, but you're not going to buy in. You're going to know they're there, but you're not going to buy in because that's normal. If I say don't get anxious, don't get nervous, then it's akin to saying, hey, Mickey Wainwright, you know the drill, mate. Don't think about that pink elephant ever. Don't think about it, Mickey. Well, you're going to think about it fucking 10,000 times. So you're going to get nervous at least 100, 150,000 times over the next 8 days. But it's all about the energy you give it. So if you're not buying into that shit, then are you really nervous or anxious? So it's just you're gonna walk alongside it, and that is gonna, like I said, save you more energy, and you're gonna have a better performance. You're gonna have a better time than anything before. This goes for someone trying to walk, run 7.5 hours, someone trying to break 3 hours, and probably I hope that most Olympians do this, but maybe they're just ridiculously naturally marathon runners they don't do this, but some of them, most of them would, with the amount of psychology stuff out there now. So it's really important stuff, guys. Don't just think what I'm saying is hyperbole or lip service. I'm saying this, and it's the most important thing. Clearly it's not just marathoning. What I just said goes for life every day, but again, another instance of the marathon being a metaphor for life. Hence why all of us that probably love other sports and love our shorter running or track or 5,000 or triathlon or netball, football, still the marathon just calls you in because of the metaphor for life factor. So this kind of stuff, team, is all about walking alongside it. Remember that on Saturday, you're going to be nervous again. We'll go through the 24 hours before in a minute, but really important stuff. Is there any questions on that topic? Whack it in the chat. I'll give you 30 seconds. Acknowledging that they're normal is the biggest thing I'd suggest, and knowing that you're going to be fine. And like, the way I kicked off the chat, remember that. You can't, it'll do you way more harm than a hammy and a calf injury. Awesome. So yeah, not you're going to be anxious, you're going to be nervous for all different reasons. The ones that are really prepared, it should be just excited nerves, and they're good. You're alive. And the other legends, 80% is it'll be what it'll be. Just have fun with it and acknowledge you're nervous and anxious, but don't stress, please. Don't just think, oh, easy for you to say. That's not me. It can be you. Just depends on the story you tell yourself. Um, what have I got here? I'll try to go in a bit of chronological order here. Am I ready? No, well, mate, look, we just answered that kind of. You're not. You'll know on day if you don't do what you want to do, it doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about unprepared and if stuff goes wrong out there in a minute, but just really accept where you're at and use that as a baseline. Okay, so you can't change it now if you're not ready. So don't stress. I'll give you some tips in a minute if you're not ready. So remember those if you're not ready later on. Um, Righto, shoes and gear. Yeah. So if you're really experienced, and I've got a few that have got the same models of shoes coming in this weekend, and they're going to run in them Tuesday and Thursday, and that's okay because they're really experienced. I'm talking sub threes, and that's fine. And they know the shoe model and all that, and the shoe model is exactly the same, and they churn through shoes. If you're not super experienced and it's your first couple of marathons, and you're not sure on your shoes and all that kind of stuff, definitely stick with the familiar model or the same model. And if you're desperate for new shoes, hopefully you've done it already. But I know there's a couple that have been asking me, get them ASAP, run in them at least twice, and walk around in them if you can. Um, they do take a bit of breaking in these things at times. So don't change anything if you can avoid it. I don't remember if that's ever changed in my whole time. You cannot possibly eat different shit. I'll talk about that in a minute, but change your kit. No, leave the kit the same. Whatever you've been running in, singlets are okay if you're changing them, but try to have a bit of a 15-minute jogging. But the singlets are fine because usually, like whether it's one of ours or one running Nike or two times you, they're all built for this shit. So I don't bother. I just wear new singlets. That's fine. But definitely shorts or tights and shoes, 1,000,000,000% got to go familiar for obvious reasons. Okay, so don't stress too much. If I know someone blew out, I think in one of those Sydney things, someone blew out some shoes in a runner's session or so a track club maybe. So or a runner session. So if you blew out, look, literally got a hole. So you got 9 days, or that was 12 days ago. Just just get the pair ASAP. Keep the model the same, and then run in them Tuesday, run in them Thursday, and you'll be okay. Don't go new shoes. We've all done it. Not hopefully not in a marathon. We've all done it where you've gone a bit too far in new shoes, or something's gone awry, or you're not used to the model. If you're used to the model, it should be fine. But don't trust that because the brands do try change models ever so slightly. So you don't want to be blistering up because the model's slightly different at 24K. That's really important. So avoid getting new kit at all costs, but don't stress. If you need it, get it in the next 4 hours. Don't go to work, Emmy. Don't go to work, Ems. New kit, treat yourself. Shoes, some nice tights. Get you on a chafing. Chafing's a bastard, I know. Funny thing, Mickey Wainwright, I never used to chafe until the last, maybe since COVID. Something happened in COVID, Ems. I don't know what it was, but it can't be anything to do with my body. Um, I chafe a lot now, a lot. So there's so many things out there. I know there's the few funny crew have been talking about the glide and body glide and that. Definitely glide up, get used to Vaseline, glide, all that stuff. But Vas won't do it all. Anti-chafe pants. There's something that I actually was going to invest in because I was actually bleeding after the track club the other day. Real, just genuine blood, Kev. It's unbelievable. Cass, it's crazy the blood. Anyway, I was getting these one, what they're not called one. I'll get them for you. These special kind of jocks that just go down to your mid quad. I know everyone's got the things they used to wear under your shorts and that, but I was always just not never used to wear those. But now that I've been in both camps, chafe's no good. So and it's gonna affect you because it'll change your gait. And once you change your gait, your running gait, that is your form, your efficiency goes. And if there's one event that your efficiency does not want to go, it's the marathon because that's crucial because you're running sub-maximal pace. And at sub-maximal pace, efficiency is everything. So it's really important. So chafing, I know it sounds a bit funny and I'm talking about the blood on my inner thighs, but that's genuine. Um, the blood nips and that doesn't matter as much. The blood chafe under your armpits, you can Vass up everywhere, like Vass or Glide, whatever. They got shit at the expo you can buy as well. But you can Vass up your armpits, Vass up your lats, wherever you normally get it, or your nipples or whatever, or band-aids over your nipples, whatever. Whatever you want to do, that's great because that's going to save you some armpits, Emsy. Yep, Emsy's just giving me the, yeah. So right under the lat, kind of where, but everyone's a bit different. But if it's the inner thighs, like the groins and that, that's the only place I get it and it does change your technique after 15 or 20K. So you got to be fucking on it. So get whatever kit you want, but try it. There's these jocks, whatever, and the Vass and the Super Glide. I'm glad. I'm sure they'd get me on an ad campaign for that. The way I'm talking about it, I've got no idea about the products, but it's pretty good. Vass will work for 15 or 20. But yeah, it's. I know it's a funny topic, but it's important because it's all these little things. You think about KP and Steve doing their real long stuff. The Iron Man's a bit different. Like the Iron Man, he's so different for so many reasons. I'm not going to talk about that today. It's such a special event, but it's just different again. It's the modalities, and you got time, not time, but you got the bike, and then you on the leg run. But you've got to be really prepared at your transition station in the Ironman, clearly. But at the end of the day, you've been out there for 7 hours anyway. But the ultra stuff, triple B cream, there you go. Triple B cream, Frankie said. I knew Frank loves this shit. He's on KP and Steve and that. They're really prepared. So you're running a marathon, be really prepared, but don't buy into the anxieties of worst case scenarios, what might happen, this, that. That's bullshit. I hope I've covered that chafe one all right. You probably didn't get past the fact of my legs bleeding. Hitting the wall. Now, hitting the wall, everyone talks about hitting the wall. Um, Now, the wall is just glycogen depletion. Just quickly, if you've got any questions on chafe, 30 seconds in the chat. I better not move on too quick. Or advice. Or advice, no. All right. You're all too scarred. Um, Hitting the wall, first time marathoners or 15 timers, the wall will only usually ever come in a marathon. Now, Steve and those guys would argue, but they're that prepared, then it'll happen in waves for them, in little tiny walls. The marathon, it's that unique beast of minutes of tension and genuine glycogen depletion. So, glycogen is just stored carbohydrates in our muscle and liver, and once that is depleted, then it is you hit the metaphorical wall, and it's impossible to maintain the same pace. And it's genuine. It's not psychological. It's genuine. You cannot use fat or protein and still work at the same pace. It's not humanly possible unless you're the most fat adapted athlete on the planet. So, which is where we get to the carbohydrate things and it's where we get to pacing things. So, I wanted to do the wall first because it'll lead me into the other two questions. Um, so, hitting the wall is again, it's metaphorical, but it's very fucking real and everyone might would have done it. Maybe if you've run a marathon or even if you've done a long run, it comes down to so many factors, and it kind of ties in the four of the questions that I've got coming up. So I'll try them all in together. You'll hit the wall if you do a few things. I don't want to talk about the last 30 minutes because that's important. If you haven't been able to let go of that other shit, then you will hit the wall because your body thinks it's been running a marathon for 7 days already. So that's big. All right. But more importantly than that, not more importantly, but just as importantly from that, especially from a physiological level, is the fueling is crucial. Fuck off with the chat, Big Kev. That is very good. See, this is the kind of shit I needed in that little break. Kev's brought in the When Life Chafes, a real good product from Kev, from Frank there too. So that's brilliant. We'll talk about the When Life Chafes, choose Premax in a minute. This is an important topic. I can't do two things at once, Big Kev. Um, Now listen, so the glycogen stuff in your liver and muscles, right? Very important. What happens though is if you're racing in a pack that is quicker than what you're used to, or not quicker than what you're used to, but quicker than what you can hold for that period of time, it doesn't matter how much glycogen you're consuming, there's a pretty big chance you're going to hit that metaphorical wall and deplete all your glycogen stores. So there's a multifaceted approach, clearly. I've spoken a lot about mindset and walking alongside nerves and anxiety. I'm not going to mention that again. But then it's your lead up and it's your glycogen fueling. Now I understand we have got, well, Dave Collins, he's not on here, but he's doing Sydney. I know he's lost 50 kilos and he's in genuine ketosis. So clearly I can't speak to that. I know Andy Blow covered it a bit. I don't pretend to know it all, especially about ketosis and running marathons. But if you're after a time that is ambitious or an A time or whatever you want to call it, you're gonna have to, most of you, 99.99, you're gonna have to just start to glycogen up, carbohydrate up on the Friday morning, just getting a little bit more in. It's not enough to make you sleepy like it can do with the insulin spike and the like, but it is enough that you're storing a bit of excess around your muscles and a bit of excess in your liver to be there when you really need it. So Friday morning, you might have the next week, you might have a bit more oats or whatever, your crumpets or whatever. Friday, you might just get in a bit more fruit and veggies throughout the day than you normally would. Lunchtime, you might have some more rice. This is Friday now. Some more rice or whatever it might be, a thin crusted, even thin crusted wood fired pizza type stuff. Dinner time, again, only half a cup more of something. It doesn't have to be crazy. Then a Saturday, your biggest carb meal is going to be around that 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So that's really important, very important, because if you're going in any way depleted on that, then you're going to be in for a tough day. So don't overconsume. If you normally have 50 grams of carbohydrates, you can up it. Well, probably up it a bit, but in that if you're only having 50 a meal, but like yeah, 150 to 1. I'm not going to throw figures around because everyone's so different. I don't want everyone to be married to it, but all I want you to do is have a at least a 80 to 150% increase, which for some people will be too much. So go under 80. You know, if you eat a lot of carbs, you don't need heaps more. I think I know. I think I know. Don't need to tell people that. If there's people eating if they're a massive carb head, you probably don't need shitloads more. All right. The morning of, up early, do your thing, and yeah, crumpets, toast, some oats, whatever you normally have, and try to do your very best to have that 2.5 hours before, 3 hours before. It's up to you. Do your mobility. I'll do that later. Your food, and then you can just take a banana, whatever it might be, just for 45 minutes before, an hour before. That's your nutrition. Now, I'm not going to get to the race day in a minute. I'll do the racing gels and shit in a minute. But the pacing is crucial because this is what fucks everyone for the hitting the wall. Probably more than carbohydrate loading because I think carbohydrate loading, because it's so common vernacular and it's just in general pop culture, everyone probably does too much, eats too much almost carbs. So that's not the issue. The issue is this. So everything we've done in training has been preparing you for this. But the thing about the marathon is it's a bastard and you're on a very thin edge. So I can predict a lot of people's marathon times, but it's easily the most unpredictable of everything. Some of you guys I know very, very well, and especially when I was face to face so often. But even now, I need you to text me or tag me your Stravas or whatever. The 10K stuff and the half marathon, I can predict within almost 20 seconds. This is different, and it's very different physiology. So it's gonna feel too easy. It's gonna feel too easy. If you've prepared well, the marathon will feel too easy for the first 32K, 30K, 32K. I promise you. So if you're in that first 25%, remember I said back at the start, the 25% that have prepared absolutely phenomenally and haven't had any hiccups with life or work or general, and they've probably done 90% of the program. Whatever program that may be, trying to break 4 hours, trying to break 4 hours 30, trying to break three, whatever your program is, trying to break 2 hours 30. I don't give a fuck. You've done 90% of that program. The marathon should feel easy for the first 30, 32. Remember, and it's only a small amount of people. So you guys are in a pretty dangerous range if you go out quicker than what you have prepared for. If you say I'm going to break three, but it feels so easy that you run a bit quicker, you creep into the four flats and the low high 350s, then you're running 246 pace. You're in for a fucking world of pain if you haven't prepared for that. The middle group, the 50%, if you know that you could be all right, you might not be. If you're pretty fit, it's going to feel too easy for you as well. So what are you going to do if you're going to get caught up in the excitement of it all and go, fuck, I know Rick said it's going to feel easy, but I feel super good. I'm going to just go out at 310 pace, even though most of my long specific segments I've probably only held about 325. But I feel good today. And the other group, I think you guys are okay. That group that know they're underprepared, I'm getting to you in a minute as far as how to go about it. But don't go out too quick because yes, you're fit because you do so much of this stuff of bolt and runners and all that. You do so much 5K type training. Of course you're fit. Of course the marathon pace is going to feel slow. It's called sub-maximal pace for a reason. But it's got to be done smart because it is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's got to be meticulous in the way you deliver it. So you have a process in mind. Start to think about it this weekend, where you get in a pack of whatever pace that may be. There's so many paces out there at these majors. I sit with this pacer and I go to sleep and I work on my nutrition. I take my calories every 30 minutes. I get my electrolytes and I just work on rhythm and breathing and form and I let the group take me. But the group's got to be to your liking. If there isn't a group that works, that's okay. Drop off and then really try to grab on to 7 or 8 different individuals along the way. Biggest thing, biggest mistake people make is running the marathon like they're running a half or even a 30K because that is got not, the 32K is very different to a marathon from a physiological perspective more than anything, to be honest. You could be the psychologically most toughest person in the room, but the physiology of the marathon is incredibly different to what Steve-O was talking about last week and from what if you're coming from the track background, it's just so different to everything. So you've got to be intelligent and pay it respect. So we always say first 30K, just meditate and just be with it. And the last 10 to 12K, then you fucking learn and teach yourself how much you can really dig and suffer. But I can't have you suffering too much before 26, 28. I can't because I need you to enjoy it. And the only way you're going to enjoy it is to be able to execute the last 10 or 12. I'm really talking to the guys that are going to Sydney to run strong and are really prepared. If you're not going to run a marathon this year, but you might run in 5 years, this is still great info. 32K of meditating, last 10 of just marinating in the discomfort and pain and enjoying it. Like saying, fuck yeah, I'm at 36, I can take this because you're smart. Always undercook it. It's not a 5K, it's not a mile, it's not a last quarter of a game of netball or footy. You can't get by on heart and ticker. You can't. Your body will slow you the fuck down because it can't fuel off protein because the amount of stuff it takes to run at paces for 2 hours is way more than what you're used to processing, and way more than what you can get in time with a gel or whatever else you're going to take. Underprepared runners. Oh, hang on. Any questions on that? That's pretty fucking important. It's really for the guys that have done a 15, 14, whatever program week, 20 week, 12 week. You're feeling really prepared. You booked in 11 months ago. It's for you guys. I am driving on Sunday for 9 or 10 hours up to a thing I've got to do all week. So feel free to ring me individually. Um, but please don't be scared to jump on narcs. The pacing's crucial, fucking crucial. Some of you guys that are doing like really like big programs, I might have you on specific. Do 16K at marathon pace minus 10 seconds, or 16K at half marathon, whatever it may be, plus 10 seconds. That gets you ready, but you can't be going too quicker than that. That's really important stuff, I promise you. If you're not prepared, awesome. Underprepared, what do I do? Fucking awesome. Like, I know I obviously had that example in Gold Coast of myself, but that was next level. Hopefully you're not like that. I don't think you're going in like that with a quad and not much long stuff. But if you're underprepared, really think back to the way I said at the start. Enjoy the week. You're definitely not going to get any fitter now, so don't deviate from the program. Like, don't try to do a session on Thursday, even though it says 20 minutes with some strides, because it's only going to really sabotage you, as will stressing about, oh, I'm unprepared. Am I even going to finish? You'll finish. Of course you'll finish. There's a few people going into this particular event a bit underprepared, and that's fine. So have a bit of a plan in place. You can talk to me individually because I'm not going to make this too generic, but where you, similar to, I don't want you breathless ever, first of all. You shouldn't really be breathless in a marathon anyway, but definitely not the underprepared guys. I don't want you too breathless. So you can have a walk run strategy from the outset, or you can try to have a jog, 3K, walk 500 meters, whatever it may be. I know people for a fact, I spoke to some yesterday, that are they're going to run the first half, and then they're going to put 2 or 3 runner sessions in and just do the runner sessions if or they said they're gonna. And I know it's been done before, so that's great because then they'll get these efforts where they'll probably cover more ground than they think, and then they can walk for the recoveries, and that's fine. So underprepared, you guys have got a free hit without pressure. Just go and enjoy the day. And I know I wrote about it, and I'm not sure if anyone saw it, but the day that I let go of everything else and just did it, and even though I knew like it was really enjoyable. So I really want you to enjoy the day because you're in Sydney, in this picturesque city, Berlin, Melbourne, wherever it ends up being, or wherever, if you're listening to this, wherever marathon, go and enjoy the day. Just go and enjoy it. Enjoy the day. The more you enjoy it, the better you'll go. Good things happen when you're having fun, and don't smash yourself, and don't be unrealistic either. Like, if you've done not much work, don't choose next Sunday to try to challenge yourself on volume as far as without walking or pacing. So you clearly got to run the 42.195, but you can't challenge yourself too much on, Oh, I've been running at 6 flat, so I think today's the day I run 5:40. No, you be smart and you take the walk breaks. 10 minutes on, 1 minute off, 12 minutes on, 6 minutes, 2 minutes. You might want to go 4-1, whatever. None of it matters. Another question is, what if I need to walk? Walk-ins, mate, fuck. Ironman, World Championship winning Ironman, um, 100-mile runners, everyone fucking has to walk sometimes. It's endurance sport. You're not stopping to walk in the middle of a 1,500-meter race on the track. It's endurance sport for a reason. Now, Mickey Wainwright, brilliant message after Run Melbourne. He said, and this has been a great thing that you've done over the last 15 years, mate. Mickey said, my first half marathon, I didn't have to walk. And like, that's just so beautiful the way you've really worked so hard and so intelligently, but also so mentally strong to lose some weight and then keep going and keep going. That's a great goal. If people have got a goal to only walk the drink stations, so be it. But if you want to finish this thing and you're underprepared, fuck, walk whenever you want. And the runner sessions people are doing, obviously we've got the pace things, but yeah, that's I thought that was a good idea because I people do it in a half marathon, but yeah, they're actually going to pull out 2 episodes, they reckon, in the marathon, which is great. So don't stress would be my biggest. Take all the other tips on board, but don't stress if you're underprepared. Any questions on underprepared? And define underprepared. Like as underprepared as what I've been in the past, because I reckon I've got the actual lottery there, MZ. There's people that are unprepared that think they're unprepared that not. But if you're unprepared coming off injuries and whatever, like I can see Nico on the call. I'll get him on to have a quick chat in a minute. But Nico Rendell, he's underprepared, but he'll have some tactics. I think I might be jogging with him if I'm not supporting all you legends. What else have we got here? Jogging, I'll be fucked as well. So, Nico, we'll talk. I just realised that I'm going to be one of those underprepared people, Ems. As I said that. As I said that. I'm going to do it again twice in 3 months, 2 months. Okay, if I'm running my marathon as a training run for another one, then you just go out and have a really enjoyable long run. So clearly you're going to keep the powder a bit dry. If you are doing that, then that 32K marker applies tenfold to you, absolutely tenfold. Because I understand, doesn't matter how much I say that. Um, I know there's a few that are on that have been sick, so just wait for that as well. Um, no matter how much I say, keep the powder dry till 30, there's some A personalities, and believe me, I was one of them. You'll push the boundaries early, and if you're fit enough, you'll hold on, or if you, whatever, if you're lucky enough, you hold on, because the marathon is a lot about luck as well. But the ones that are doing it for a training run before Melbourne or something else, you can't kick too early, number one. And if you really want to do Melbourne well, then you cannot leave all your chips out there because it takes a good 4 weeks to recover if you've left all your chips out there. And then that doesn't give us much wiggle room for Melbourne. But have a good run, finish well, finish strong. I'll give you a tip. If you finish strong the last 4K, or at least not strong, but not fucking as a death march, you're going to be fine. So everything's about that last 4 to 6K for you guys doing it as a training run. And maybe the underprepared guys try to have that motto as well. I want to be still running a bit, the last 4 to 6 running okay. Sick, coming in sick. Yeah, really, really big one. So it's going to happen. And I've, on statistics that I've seen, there's going to be fucking people that get flu and COVID this week. It's just the way it is. I'm not mocking anyone, just the way it is. It's fucking simple. Don't stress about it, number one. Lukey Wade, I can see, he's been cooked for 4 weeks and he's fit as fuck. Trent Castle, another one, cooked for 4 weeks. Both two men fit as fuck, but have had 4 weeks of illness. So all you can do is try to take that first half an hour of advice on, get as much positive medical stuff as you can, if it's antibiotics or whatever else you think you need, even an injection, whatever it's got to be, and then you just fucking really meditate and relax because you can't get any fitter now. You're not going to do a session after Tuesday because everything you do after Tuesday is going to take away from Sunday. And just, you'll be surprised. If you're starting to feel a lot more human by mid next week, then you're going to, if you've done the work in the last 12 months, you're going to be all right, boys, and you're just going to enjoy it and have fun. Use it as another run, like just use it as another training run. That's all it is. Another training run. If you get lucky, you might run really well, but take all expectation about out of it, and don't be shitty if you don't run well, because that's you can't have this ridiculous thing attached to it. If you run like shit, you're crook. If you get sick Friday or Saturday, we'll deal with that when it happens, but there's nothing you can do about it. So the more you are living in self pity and lack, then you'll just run even shitter. So just be loose about it, stay loose, and just be with it. It's nothing you can do about it. So r apart from getting the jabs, like whether it's meds or whatever, you can't intervene. So just let it be and back your fitness in. Um, okay. Trent Cass, he's throwing a Hail Mary here. Now, he's had AIDS. Now, I joke, a lot of common jokes about AIDS. They haven't got a cure for AIDS. HIV, AIDS, Trent Castle hasn't actually got it, team, but I've given him shit for a long time. No, buddy, they're still waiting on that, but you can do your best. Poor bugger. It'll be all right. So, with that kind of stuff, you get crook on the Friday, Saturday, don't panic, even though it's the exact opposite. Remember, I said pink elephant? Don't fucking panic. Just be with it. Do what you normally do. But if your tendency is to panic, oh, I'm going to run like shit. I've trained for 16 weeks. Just fuck. It was meant to be that way. Use it as a training run and we'll pick another one and then move the fuck on. Um, and where are we? Where are we? Week leader. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is a good one. Anyone got any questions on any of that? Trent Castle's aids, pacing, getting cook. Clearly, I think I'm about to talk about the week leader. So clearly, you'd avoid areas if you can where people are sick, and maybe have the Dettol on extra hand this week. Week leader, as a rule, but this is pretty general. So I'm gonna, whether you're running 2 hours 40 or 6 hours 40, it's pretty general. So this weekend you'll knock out a run. I try to keep everyone under 20K. I don't think there's any need. Well, I know there's no need to go over that the week before. And then extra mobility thrown in because you don't. Even though mobility is one of those things that's a compounding thing, it's better over 3 months like anything, but it'll still help a lot in 7 days. So extra mobility, ankles, hips, back, especially because that's what's going to really leak energy, and you'll feel a lot looser. Avoid sitting too much if you can, and standing up more, and really watching your accumulative sleep if you can. Again, the more you think about not sleeping, the more you want to sleep. So just be aware of that. Do your meditation, do your breath work, take some melatonin if you really need it, but just avoid the phone 3 hours before bed, all that shit. But do it every night. Like, don't just do it Friday or Thursday. Do it every fucking night and watch the difference. Just avoiding buying into any of your anxiety is going to help you. So all that stuff is going to help through the week way more than any kind of physical thing I will. And then Monday, whatever you normally do, you do bulk, do it at 70%, or a walk or a ride. Tuesday normally is your last A session, but I know people do a session on Monday. That's fine as well. If you do your A session on Wednesday, that's fine, but it should be in the program anyway. Make every session like 70%, 75%. Feel smooth, make it feel easy, make it feel natural, and really flow. And no, I try to avoid any extra load, external load with barbells and stuff. But I do want you doing activation stuff. So Kara's Pilates and activation with mini bands is fine because that'll fire the right muscles and they're the stabilizers you actually want to fire, and really want that muscle mind connection. So definitely do that, team. No, I don't like external load. Some do, but not before a marathon. It's not, you're not playing a game of footy. You're not running 5K. You're about to cause deep trauma on your muscle tissue. Give them a rest from load. Activation's good. Thursday is normally like a 20, 30 minute jog with some strides ideally. So strides are just 100, 150 meters of quicker work, but it's not forced work. It's just flowing work. So think gout, not Asafa Pow. Or think gout, not Dustin Martin. So real flowing strides, 150 meters, and then walk back. Friday, we're actually not doing this next Friday because we'll just have an easy walk because I'll be in the middle of New South Wales in the Bathurst somewhere. I just don't trust it. I am doing Bolt though, so I might do vibes if I get someone. I am doing Bolt. I'll be right. We might do this. That's another story. Friday, easy walk, lots of mobility Friday. Lots of mobility. And don't buy into any work shit or fucking leave work alone from Friday morning. Check off. Go get your flight to, if you're going to Sydney, get your flight. Saturday you might fly in, but Saturday just another easy walk and mobility. Again, lots of mobility. And then you'll start carbon and getting your extra bit of glycogen in from pretty much from Thursday afternoon. But remembering what I said about that, it's not fucking 3 bowls extra. It's maybe a cup extra, all right, of that. Mobility personified. If you can start getting your sleep good on, well, tonight, but Monday, Tuesday next week, then you're going to be okay. Friday night, again, good night. If the Saturday is interrupted because you know you've got to get up early at 3:50 or 4 a.m. or whatever it is, then it doesn't matter because you've accumulated shitloads. I know I spoke on my one for many reasons. I think I didn't sleep at all before that. I ran I think my PB. So it's the accumulation the week before. So it don't stress too much about the Saturday night sleep. Ideally, because you're in a routine, you've been going okay the last 7 or 8 days, you might be all right. But you might sleep fine Saturday night. You'll sleep like a baby. But if you don't worry about it because hopefully you've accumulated a bit. Um, that's really important. Get up early, like I said. Just be ready. No extra stress, no external stress needed at all because you're already walking alongside internal stresses. You got your food ready. You got your gels. We haven't touched much on this, but Steve spoke really well last week about liquid calories, but it's probably sometime it's coming in really big now. You can't put your own stuff on the course at most of these events. Melbourne, you can. Um, so do what you've been doing in training, have your gels, whatever your external calories from somewhere, take the electrolytes on at every opportunity that you get them if you're not holding them, which most people won't be in a marathon. So take the electrolytes on as well. There's some calories in there, but hold your calories if you can. So your gels and that. I don't know if they're going to be supplying gels at Sydney. I'm not going to get into the intricacies of it, but it's really important that you get your calories in every 30 minutes. I feel like we speak about this a lot, but I think I need to cover it because probably a lot that might not. So every 30 minutes, just get something in. Half a gel, full gel, whatever. Um, Take anything, calories, food, whatever that may be. But if you're running at a pace, it's obviously going to be something your stomach is used to. So hopefully you've trained with this. When I say practice nutrition on those runs, that's what this means. So hopefully you've done it a few times. If you haven't, then give me a ring and we can talk. But gels or anything that's really suited to your gut, very important because you want to. That's what I said about the process of the race. I want you in your process going, okay, not stressing too much about the pace unless it's too fast. Tap in on a bit of a group that's pulling you along. Make it feel easy. Know that you're fit. Know that you're so much fitter than what you're running, the pace wise. That's what you should know with actual confidence. Okay, fuck yeah, like I'm running 30 seconds a K slower than my whatever pace. And then all you're worrying about is relaxing, rhythm, and getting calories and electrolytes in. That's it. You do that for the first 32K, then you can have your Hollywood moment. But the first 32K, you're fucking boring. It's boring. You're going to be boring. You're going to be fastidious, and you're going to fucking love it. You're going to love it. If you do all that right, your Hollywood moment will come at 32 onwards. Calories every 30 minutes. Any questions on any of that? I've probably missed a few. What do we got here? Mm, I might have covered it all there. Um, I hope Trent, I hope you're feeling better from the HIV, brother. Any questions? So on this call today, excuse me if I'm wrong. Mickey Wainwright is Sydney. Kevin, I'm not sure. I don't think. Trent Sydney. Um, Lukey Wade Sydney. Buzz is Berlin, of course. The great man. Carlin's got netball finals. Can't wait for that. Um, Nick Rendell, Sydney. Sonia Matlaw, Sydney. And there's a fair few. Oh, Melbourne for Mickey. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I knew Melbourne. And Dave Collins. I haven't counted them yet. I'm going to do a group today, but at a guess, it is over 40 doing Sydney. You'd be very surprised. So it's crazy because I know a lot of people, because it was a major, just threw, like, to use big Trent Cass's analogy, just threw the Hail Mary, go, fuck it, I'll enter, I probably won't get in. And then every Australian got in pretty much. So we've got a shitload. I can't wait to be up there with you. Any questions at all, yell out. The thing about the marathon is, um, I've, even though I've run a lot of marathons, and I'm certainly not an elite marathoner, but I ran a couple of good times because I've coached so many, and I'm not a natural marathoner. I genuinely believe that I can coach it really well. It's one of those things. It's such a mix, because sometimes there's some amazing elites, and the Oz record holder at the moment is an absolute ripper. And I know Debsy would agree. Andy Buchanan's an absolute ripper. He's just a really good person, and a really good runner, obviously. But and actually, he's really got really good advice. But there's a lot of elite marathoners that because they might be very finely boned or very finely muscled, and it's not, they can't articulate to everyone what exactly they do, because they just go out and fucking run. It's just easy for them. So I definitely believe on this distance, um, I'll never break 2 hours 20, but I know that I can help you all do a lot more than what you think. The science of it is I definitely like the 5 and 10K stuff better, and obviously footy stuff. But this marathon, it's all about what we've spoke about the last hour. I promise you.
Just,
Yet, yes,
I don't
Tuai.
even know how to say it.
Oh, the Tuai. Come on, Tuai.
Yeah.
Tuai, have you got Tuai's got something to say? Anything about the chafe? Any questions? How does now who goes well with the chafe? Buzz, where do you chafe these days? Big Trenner? Who's chafing at the moment that's got some issues? No, no chafe. We'll go 2 minutes. Is there any other questions before we jump off? Tuai, that was funny. That Tuai's funny thing from 2013 that I found. I went down a rabbit hole. I was trying to find fucking one photo, if you believe this. One. I think Shell went down the same rabbit hole last night, from what I can gather, with a million texts that I've got. We've got so many photos from fucking '07 onwards, but you just don't look at them because they're so overwhelming, but they're so amazing, so amazing. And two, I sent some funny ones in about 2013. It was hilarious. Web Dogs, if you're listening, can you unmute yourself, Web Dogs? We miss you. Where the fuck? Hey, Tuai.
Hi.
Where are you? Tuai,
Yeah.
I love seeing you every week. Where's your mate? Is he okay?
Yeah.
Ricky,
We won't put this to air. I promise this is done now. We're just talking. What? Are you okay, my brother?
I'm good. Yeah, we're just walking.
Is your back all right?
Yeah, getting there. I've still got a bit of sciatica.
Sciatica.
Yeah,
All right. We'll have a coffee. I'll
it's
ring you
getting better
today.
though.
Is it getting better?
Yeah.
I'll give you some stuff. How good's the morning on the river?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're just at the water sports. We crossed the river and went to the water sports place. So
Actual
beautiful.
magic. Like
oh
literally 1 degree, 2 degrees.
no, it's warm out here. It's like 10.
Is it today?
Yeah.
I sure haven't been, but it's magic out there. Well, you guys are the best. Um, Now, Webby, I know you've got something on today at the Bomb Beach Footy Club. Now, these traditionally can get out of hand. No side street at 4 a.m., all right, bro?
I haven't had a drink for 4.5 months.
Shit, I really haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you could have fucking pre-earth me with this kind of shit. Are you fair income?
Yeah,
Serious.
mate.
Well, we need to get. Can we get you on the vibes next week and chat about this?
I'm away in Bali.
You're in Bali. I'm
Yeah.
in Bathurst. Yours is probably better. Uh, we'll talk. You surfing? You're right to surf with the back.
Yeah, I'll be right.
I'll ring you today, mate. Take care.
Awesome, buddy.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone else is great. I reckon we've covered a lot. Um, if I went too much, just rewind it if you're not sure. Um, but I think I covered everything else. And if you're never going to run a marathon, don't stress. All that stuff's still pretty bloody important, I think, for anything in life. But if you've got any questions, yell out. Um, and I really you should be proud of yourselves. I'm proud of you all. So go and enjoy next week. If we are on Friday, I'll let you know. But definitely Monday, Bolt. I'll be sweet. I'm doing from there. So have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Get your last long runs in or get your movement in, and just go and enjoy the moment. And good things happen when you're having fun.